My son said, get my mic. Where's my mic? I get carried away now. In conclusion, my daughter wanted to get ready to sing. We can't leave the hands of God. Didn't it say, my church cannot be taken out of my hands? Isn't that right? Isn't that what it says? Now, check this out. Don't worry about that. Let's look this way. We are redeemed. Amen. We are what? Redeemed. We are what? Redeemed. We are recycled. We are what? Restored. Let's say it again. We are redeemed. We are recycled. We are restored. Now, amen. In Florida, where we now live, Orlando, the city of Orlando, has just over 1,000 lakes in that metropolitan area. Isn't that something? So that means if you're going down the street, that street can do like this and go around, and it can be 3 miles. Because the lakes can be 3 and 4 and 5 miles. All right, some of them are small. Well, in Orlando, just outside in one of the suburbs, there was a little boy, and his name was, his name Coy. Thank you. And he was swimming with his 2 cousins in their pond in the back. Now, the reason I spoke about the size of the lakes, their pond was 300 yards in circumference. A lot of people would call that a lake, but when there are real big lakes, we call that a pond. Right? And so there are always adjoining lakes, huge lakes to ponds. And the other cousins were going, and he had his snorkel, and he was in there, and he was 10 years old or 11, and people started jumping up and down. They could see from their houses that something was wrong, and he couldn't hear it, but what it was, a 400-pound alligator had come from the lake and was going to now, was slipping into the pond, and was heading towards him. It was 7 feet long. And he couldn't tell. They were screaming and yelling, alligator, alligator. And the alligator grabbed his head and tried to pull him down, but the snorkel equipment got down in the throat of the alligator, so the alligator let up. The boy pulled himself off. He had fins on, flippers, right? And he headed towards the beach. While at the same time, his mother heard the confusion. She came down. She saw the alligator tracing him. She saw the blood on her son. Every time he'd come up, there would be blood. He was splashing. And she ran out there, and just before he got to the bank where there was no water, she was waist deep in the water. She grabbed her son. The alligator had his left leg. She was tugging and pulling and tugging and pulling. And after a while, this big 400-pound alligator let him go. They theorized that the flipper that the boy had on him got down in his throat. Months later, the little boy was fine. The cast was off his leg. The gash was covered by his hair. And he was showing his friends. They said, where's your gash? He says, well, yeah, it is part of his hair. He says, this is where the alligator got me, but I covered it up with my hair. And then they said, well, what about your leg? He says, well, you can't see that because my socks are long, and I got these long socks, and my pants cover that. They said, but what are those deep 4 scars on your hand? He says, oh, that wasn't from the alligator. That was where my mommy got her fingers in my hand and wouldn't let me go. And so it is, brothers and sisters, when Satan comes at you and he taunts God by saying, look at Lewis. I say, here ain't no good, here's nothing. Jesus holds up the marks in his hand. And he says, hey, this is my boy. This is my main man. Though he is sinful, he is mine. It is my robe of righteousness that I'm covering him with. Church, are we going to make it? Church, we can't miss it, can we, church? We are redeemed. Say it.
Redeemed.
We are recycled. We are restored. Father in heaven, bless this congregation to leave here knowing that in the hands of God they cannot be taken out unless they choose. We're fixed and fast in the hands of Jesus. Never more to roam. Though we make mistakes, your blood covers that. When we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all iniquity, all transgression, all sin.